Your clients are the most important people to your business. The Action Pro-90 Success Funnel is totally different than the other funnels that you're going to see on the internet. Why? Because it has been proven in many countries around the world to be successful in building some of the largest sales organizations in the world. So I'm going to help you become that successful if you would just follow the system.
Thank you and welcome to today's course. Today's course is on correct progression in sales. I will reveal to you in detail how the correct order of progression complements your results in sales. This session is focused on sales, which aim to establish long-term attachment to your brand, your service, or your product. Everything in the efficiency of business is about actions and the correct order of actions. Nothing happens unless a plan of consistent repetition of actions are followed. For every action, there is a reaction. In business, that certainly means results. Leveraging the correct actions within this systematic approach that you're going to be going through today will help both build and sustain your sales goals. And it'll also help create a positive, healthy organizational culture. Traction. With consistency, actions develop traction as customers and clients become attached to the brand. This is where follow-up is put to the test. It's all about consistency, and your disciplines will make or break you. Don't forget, it's all about the brand, and your ultimate objective is to share the correct information to develop awareness and trust in your brand. A sale isn't about the seller. It's about the brand, the product, and especially how it connects to the client or the customer. These first two steps in the systematic follow-up, action and traction, are our exclusive focus in this coaching session today. We will first go over this as a general detailed overview, and other sessions will support these details in more comprehensive sessions in how to support the actions, what tools to utilize, and how to use them. We will also detail various methods in how to organize your follow-up approach in the following sessions. But right now, we first need you to have the skeletal structure of the full generalization so your roadmap to success in follow-up is clear as you attend deeper and more comprehensive sessions. Now, rank advancement. If there is a rank qualification program where people can achieve certain levels and be recognized, this helps define your goals of which you can obtain. Now, this can work in the corporate world as well as you move up in the corporate ranks within your company or within the different compensation structures within your company. Prosperous positioning. This is the overall objective, of course, to acquire residual prosperity. Action, traction, and rank advancement are the path to financial freedom. Focus on the process, and the prosperity comes from the results. Action, traction, rank advancement, prosperous positioning is the order of which all marketing should maintain. In sales outside of certain types of marketing, it's the same. It doesn't matter what type of marketing structure you're in within sales, it's all the same. It all has to do with action, traction, rank advancement, prosperous positioning. We won't spend a great deal of time today on this session on rank advancement and prosperous positioning during this session, as we are keenly focused primarily on the correct actions to achieve traction in your sales business. Everything starts with action. It starts with an action, a correct and defined action. This is where most people who start in the sales business are lost. This is a confusion for most people in sales because they think it takes ability and talent, but it doesn't. They just don't know what to do first. There must be a system in place. We're going to show that to you today. We'll talk about the dangers also of procrastination. It's no secret that to start your business without knowing what to do, you're subject to trial and error. You can avoid most trials and errors by using a defined system, and this is that defined system. Let's define leads and prospects. A lead is someone you know or someone on a list of whom you have not spoken to about your business or product. It's very simple. A lead is someone who is unaware. A prospect is someone of whom you have made aware of your business opportunity, your product or service. You've given them an approach pack or some type of icebreaker to start the process of follow-up. Now remember, I said start the process of follow-up. This is where people make a huge mistake of saying or telling too much. Follow-up is all about the steps. If you tell them the whole story as soon as you shake their hand, you've blown the opportunity and you've messed up your strategic steps in follow-up. Don't regurgitate everything you know in 5 minutes. Focus on making them aware of who you are and a general hint about what you have. Your brand recognition, product introduction, benefit of the product or service. As you're developing their interest, you have them in the contemplation and consideration stage of follow-up. It's not your job to make their decisions for them. It's your objective to build and establish trust. With the correct steps in follow-up, you'll see your prospect gain trust, and as you do, you will shift the steps of follow-up to more in-depth information. You're now establishing commitment. We will go over how to detail your steps in follow-up in another session regarding HSDs and how they work. This is basically the pattern and order of which your sales funnel will progress in the correct order. Consistent follow-up success is always about creating the correct actions. It's about action creates traction. The rest falls in place as goals. But how to manage that flow of follow-up is the key. What do I mean by flow of follow-up? HSDs is an abbreviation for higher source dynamics. It's anything other than yourself. It can be a video, an email, a text, a business card, resource materials, any person other than yourself as validation. It can be your story, but it is never you. It's anything other than you. It's an appointment, a meeting, an event, or even as simple as a sample of your product. The HSD system will determine the correct steps of follow-up. It will help you to define the escalation of which tools for each step. It'll help you to be efficient while diminishing procrastination. And best of all, it will help you to overcome rejection and fear. And while managing an achievable flow and follow-up, the implementation of the HSD system will challenge the egotistical networker or salesperson. It's based on disciplines and defined steps rather than charisma, talent, or high-pressured sales or money games. Let me explain. Which would you rather be? The top recruiter or the top income earner. The top recruiter, let's call him Bob. Bob will bring in about 200 people, but by the time he's brought in the 200th person, 150 of them have already left. Then Bob, he gets angry. He quits. He blames the product. He blames the company. He blames customer support. He blames everyone except himself. Then the rest of Bob's team also leaves as well. And they will usually follow him to the next deal and the next and the next. You don't get a lot of traction from egotistical leaders that drive a business off of their charisma and their own abilities, but rather you're going to get much more off of someone who follows a system. So let's talk about the top income earner. We will call her name Elizabeth. Elizabeth is going to bring in about 15 to 20 people, but there's a difference between Bob and Elizabeth. Elizabeth nurtures and supports the personal growth and efforts of her team, keeping them on the system and staying on track. Duplication takes place, and Elizabeth's team grows to hundreds or possibly even thousands of people. This is how you expand a sales team. It's all about duplication. Steady and consistent actions that are well defined, along with organizational skill sets, will help you to achieve your goals. What is duplication? Duplication is to lead a large group of people to do a few simple actions over a sustained period of time. The duplication of actions will yield the duplication of results. Don't focus on the results. Focus on the actions. Define specific actions, and the results will happen naturally. Salespeople tend to define their goals, yet they rarely succeed in defining the actions which achieve their goals. This is where emotional goals get out of proportion and are usually too whimsical to reach. Therefore, disappointment will certainly follow. Remember, your goals are about you. The time you have to commit to your goals by following up with your prospects adequately. After all, if you don't follow up, you're wasting your time and theirs. Inadequate follow-up will destroy your potential and will burn up your potential leads. Look at the follow-up as a conversation that has multiple chapters. And it's rather disrespectful to start a conversation with someone that you don't finish. So pace your amount of prospects that you feel you can handle within your available time. By the way, I found that when people say they don't have time, most likely they do. How many leads should you convert to prospects in your sales funnel? How many per day? How many per week? How many per month? How many potential clients and customers can you effectively follow up within a month? How many follow-up steps of actions do you have defined and ready to implement into each step of your follow-up? Is each follow-up step in the correct order of escalation? What is the correct order of escalation in the steps of follow-up? Let's just say this. You don't hand them a business card for the fifth step in follow-up. Every step of follow-up should get deeper and more comprehensive in information, less about you and more about your brand, the product, or your services. Introductions should be similar to introducing an individual to someone. This is where a lot of people, especially the enthusiastic ones, go too far. Example: if you're introducing someone, you wouldn't tell their whole life story. When introducing your brand, you don't want to say too much. Build trust. Then respect the prospect to make their own decisions as you help them establish commitment to your brand. If they make the decision to join your brand and they don't feel pushed or manipulated, they are more likely to stay. Your greatest friend is your calendar. There's one on your smart device if you don't want to use the old-fashioned paper type. Most people all have a calendar automatically on their smart device. Set up your appointments and be prompt. Stay with your schedule. You'll need to because you're about to get very busy. Organizational skills are the key to being good at this system. But don't worry, we will take it slow to go fast. And don't overschedule your workload. Don't underschedule it either. I'll show you how. Action Pro-90 is all about minimizing procrastination. The average marketer procrastinates 4 to 8 weeks in getting started and building their business. Think about it. If you have 100 people on your team that procrastinate just 4 weeks, that's approximately 8 years of procrastination. No one can afford that. The Action Pro-90 success funnel will change all that. It's designed around your first 90 days. Already in the business, that's fine. Do you need a boost? It'll work for you as well. It's perfect for that. When you implement the Action Pro-90 success funnel, your entire team will see how effective you are in the follow-up and the flow also of the follow-up. Instead of stressing yourself out, and I wouldn't suggest being a salesperson with high stress. No one wants to purchase something from someone who's sweating bullets. So instead of stressing yourself out, it's very important that you have a reasonable workload. An unreasonable workload will cause a tremendous amount of stress. Let's be practical and take it methodically and achievable. Let's take the practical approach with confidence. If you just add 2 prospects per day, each day, 5 days per week, and keep up with your activities with each prospect, you'll be fine. But will that little of amount of activity actually get you to where you need to be? Of course, remember Elizabeth, the nurturer? It's all about duplication of actions. Your weekly action goal is 2 a day, 5 days a week, which brings you new prospects into your Action Pro-90 success funnel. That's 10 new prospects each week. This is manageable. Going crazy and adding 20 or 30 new prospects each day, it'll burn you out, and you'll let your prospects down by not following up adequately. Let's break this down. Your first month, in your first week. Your first week's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be challenging. This will be the week you establish your first 10 new prospects and get organized with the correct actions. You don't have that many in your funnel yet, so you will be able to handle it just fine. Now, during the second week, while you're adding new prospects, don't forget to follow up with the prospects you initialized into your Action Pro-90 success funnel the first week. They need your attention as well. By the way, 80% of sales take place between the 5th and the 8th step of follow-up. This is why it is so important to stay within the correct actions of steps in the process. We'll talk about that in another session as well. During the third week, while you're adding more into your funnel, some of your prospects from the first week should be getting close to the commitment stage of follow-up. It's important to help your new members get started with the Action Pro-90 system as soon as possible. Focusing on the system rather than assuming what your prospects will do will minimize your fear of rejection. Rejection is the emotional enemy. Only an average of 20% of salespeople get to the second step of follow-up due to the emotional stress of rejection. Can you believe that? This doesn't happen with this system. You are now following up with 40 people by the end of your first month. Your ideal goal is to establish a 30% conversion rate. It could be higher, it could be lower, but let's set a goal of 30% as your conversion rate. If you have 40 new prospects at a 30% conversion rate, that's 12 new members. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, at this rate, I'll never make my business successful. Trust the system. You're off to a great start. It's called the Action Pro-90 Success Funnel for a reason. This is a 90-day startup system. Stay consistent. This is how it works. Now remember, if you're already involved with a team and you have a large organization already, this will also help boost your team that is existing. If you're new, this will help you get started. Just think, every month you repeat the process. That's 40 new prospects each month and 12 new members each month. At the end of 90 days, you have accumulated 36 new personals to help you build your organization. That's an amazing sales team. But wait, what if your personals do what you did? That's called duplication, right? So as you go into your second month, it's you and your 12 members, your 12 new members from your first month. That's 13 people counting you. Repeating the same process you just did your first month. Each gets their 2 a day, 5 days a week. That's 10 new prospects per week, 40 new prospects per month, and at a 30% conversion rate, that's 12 new members per month for 13 people. That's 156 new members added in your second month. Now you go to your third month. With you, your 12 from your first month, your 156 from your second month. That's 169 members nurturing and duplicating. 169 members get each 2 a day, 5 days a week, new prospects, 10 new prospects per week, 40 new prospects per month. And at a 30% conversion rate, that's 12 new members per month for each of the 169 people. That's 2,028 new members, plus you, plus 12, plus 156. That's a total of 2,197 members working together, nurturing under a system that works. Now let's put this into perspective. For those who already have a team started, if you have 100 people in your team, in your organization, that follow this system for 90 days, you'll have over 200,000 people in your organization. But let's be realistic. This isn't a perfect world, and there are no perfect scenarios. If you have a 90% failure rate, you still have an organization of almost 22,000 people in your team. I've implemented this system in many countries and cultures around the world, and it works. Are there more to it than this? Absolutely. However, in this session, my objective was simply to help you understand the power of the Action Pro-90 success funnel. Unlike many systems which haven't been tried and proven, this system has helped create some of the largest organizations in global sales. Visit my site, jefwelch.com, for how you can access comprehensive training and mentoring on the Action Pro-90 system and success funnel, along with other powerful insights that will help you become successful in what you do in sales. Thank you for joining me.
Systems work. I've been involved with systematic approach my entire career on helping people just like you become successful in how to understand the best solutions in follow-up. Follow-up is the key. If you do not follow up with your prospects in a correct way, you're not going to win.